Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how changing your self-concept is going to help you change your perception of your specific person or whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. Okay, so yeah, I'm also just going to be giving more manifestation tips that I know will help you. I'm not gonna lie, if you've been following me for a while, a lot of what I say is just repetition of concepts that I've talked about before, but sometimes we need reminder videos or content or posts or whatever to help keep us on track, which is why I make these videos. Okay, so there's a lot of things that we already know, that we've already read about, heard of, but sometimes when things come to pass in the 3D, are you actually using that knowledge? Are you implementing that knowledge? Or are you going back to your old way of thinking? That's why, watching these videos again and again, doing whatever it takes to saturate your mind with not just your affirmations, but basics of manifestation concepts will really help as well. Okay, so yeah. And before getting started with the video, I do want to let you know there is a collective group challenge going on Patreon, where we get together as a group and manifest for each other, which amplifies and accelerates the power of our individual manifestation. So how this works is I give you signs to see every week, and if you see those signs, then that's a sign that everyone saw those signs and everyone's manifestations are coming to fruition. Okay, is everyone's success in that group is everyone's success, which again, it accelerates and amplifies our individual manifestation. So if that's something you're interested in, check out the description box below where you can sign up for my Patreon. And I also post like affirmations and just tips, tricks, encouragement, motivational posts. Okay, so if you want something that's like you know uh, if you just want more encouragement and motivation, similar to these videos, but you want them like in text form, I also do have a bunch of manifestation videos on there that kind of has everything. Honestly, you're kind of getting a lot for $5 a month. So if you're interested in that, check out the description box below, patreon.com/enchanted43444. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I will go over these cards soon, but something I want to let you know is that I know a lot of you are affirming for very specific things with your specific person. You want them to come back, you want them to treat you well, you want them to shower you with love, attention, affection, you want them to post you on social media, you want them to spoil you, romance you, make you feel loved, make you feel cared for, prioritized, valued, all of these things, right? But one thing I want to say is that anything that you want from anyone or anything else, you have to give to yourself, which is why self-concept is extremely important. So everything that I just said, all of those words I said, change that into self-concept form. Like, I am valued, I am loved, I am prioritized, I am spoiled, I am romanced, I am always shown off on social media, I am always respected, I'm always holistically respected. Okay, that also means like your person respecting you like to your face and behind your back, and not doing like things that like upset you or hurt you. Like, I know a lot of you are on social media, and you're checking to see like, oh, what's your SP doing, who are they with, liking people's posts, this, that. So I mean, like, you should be so good, like, whole and secure in your relationship, that first of all, you wouldn't even feel the need to check in the first place, because you already know that you trust them so much. And whenever you do, you're not in a constant state of anxiety, because you could have seen something that triggered you, then you kept doing that, and it kept like triggering anxiety. And like at some point, like when you saw their profile, you're just like, yeah, I'm not clicking on it. Like, I don't even feel good clicking on it, because I don't want to be here. And that's good, you shouldn't, until you get your full manifestation and you feel safe and secure in your relationship. Don't check their social media, don't check the 3D, don't tamper and mess with the 3D, right? But ideally you should feel safe and secure, right? So you want that safety and security from your specific person, so you have to build up your self-concept in that area, in regards to romance, in regards to how they're making you feel, and the fact that they've always made you feel that way, right? And when you like say self-concept affirmations like, I feel safe and secure in my relationship, I feel chosen, I feel valued. Heck, say I feel if you need to. I know like a lot of you say I am affirmations, and I stand by them, but even saying like I feel, you can kind of like alternate between the two, because that is what you're trying to like conjure up, right? You're trying to conjure up the feeling of like feeling safe, valued, secure. Okay, like there's certain people that you talk to every day that are going to respond to you no matter what, like your best friend, your sister, your mom, like whatever, that are always just going to be there for you, right? That is how you should be feeling about your SP, and that is also how you should be perceiving them. But if you want to perceive them that way, okay, you have to work on your self-concept. Okay, that is like the key to getting whatever it is that you want. There are some people that can just affirm for their specific person, get what they want, because their self-concept in regards to love is already built up pretty high. It's already ingrained in them that they get these things. It's kind of like second nature to them. But for some of us, we might have to work a little bit harder, especially if we've been experiencing a lot of resistance in love, and we've had certain things happen to us in love that broke broke our trust, whatever this, that. It doesn't matter what happened in the past or even what's happening right now. Okay. Don't let that dictate your future if you want a different future. So by affirming for self-concept, what you're essentially doing is you're decreasing the resistance to your SP affirmations. When you say all these affirmations, when you build up your self concept, your SP is going to reflect that back to you verbatim. They're going to do whatever you tell them to do in your mind. So at some point, it is okay to say specific person affirmations, but make sure you're doing mostly self concept. I would say, 80-20. If you feel like you have extra resistance, then 90-10, maybe even 99%, 1%. Okay. I've been giving this advice to a lot of my clients, but if you're going to do the 10-minute method where you robotically affirm for 10 minutes in order to saturate your mind with your affirmations, for 9 of those 10 minutes, affirm for self concept and whatever it is that you're affirming. And then for 1 minute, just affirm for your SP, okay? 99-1. Well, technically that's 90-10, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna affirm for 100 minutes, then 99 minutes of SC, 1 minute of SP. But it does get easier throughout time. But once you build your self concept, once that becomes your dominant state of mind, your dominant belief, right? Because what you're doing is like you're building up the self concept to have that become your dominant belief. That's why you're affirming, saturating, robotically affirming all the time. Okay, repetition creates belief, and repetition, or persistence kills resistance, right? So once you build that like self-concept up to the point where it's your dominant state, where it's your dominant belief, then manifesting specific things for your specific person to do will get a lot easier, and they will reflect that back to you on the spot. I remember reading the success story in one of the groups that I was in, where this woman had been working on her self-concept for quite a bit. She was hanging out with her SP, and I think she was affirming that he would do something very specific, like they were watching a movie but she wanted him to like cuddle her or something. And then he ended up doing that like right as she thought about it. Like in her mind she's like, oh, he's gonna cuddle me. She wanted him to initiate things, right? So he ended up doing that. And there's a lot of instances that have happened in my life, in my clients' life, in so many people's life, where people reflected things back to them verbatim. I'll give you the example of my SP. I had an SP, and I would write, I'm special, I'm loved, I'm too important to lose. He literally said in front of his friends, like, this girl is special to me. Don't tell her any of my weird stories from college, okay? She means a lot to me, like in front of his guy friends. Like he reflected that back to me verbatim. That was something that I wrote down, because in the past, just a little bit of a vulnerable moment here, I would be with guys that didn't show me off and really value me in that way, that this SP ended up doing, right? Like I wasn't really shown off to people, and that, kind of did leave a certain scar in my self-concept. But I built up my self-concept, and this guy would, he introduced me to his friends a couple weeks in. I met his parents, he would say nice things about me to his friends, cuddle me in front of his friends, okay? Like his guy friends too. So I mean, this kind of stuff does work. It doesn't matter what you've experienced in the past. You weren't shown off in the past, you weren't given love, attention, PDA, affection in the past, you weren't introduced to friends and family in the past. That does not have to be your future. Trust when I say things can do a complete 180. I know some people who've never been in a relationship that are now in the best relationship of their lives. They didn't even have to ever go through heartbreak or pain. I know people that have been like cheated on brutally, and now are happily married with 2 dogs living in their apartment. Okay, my best friend, I give her example a lot in a lot of my videos and readings, but it's true. I've seen it happen. I've seen how people change their self-concept and everything else around them changes. Okay, so again, if you want to decrease resistance to your SP affirmations, work on self-concept. So if there's something that you want your specific person to do, like let's say you want them to spoil you and make you feel like, they do like romantic things for you, candlelit dinners, buy you flowers, things like that. What is the self-concept version of that? The self-concept version of that would be, I am spoiled. I am always romanced. Okay, I always receive flowers. I always receive gifts. And your SP will start thinking that. They'll be like, oh, flowers, gifts, where am I getting these thoughts from? It's you that's putting that out into the quantum field. It's you that's dictating your electromagnetic signature by saying all of these things, and they're going to be getting those thoughts. Okay, and at the end of the day, your subconscious mind knows who and what you want. So a lot of times you really don't even have to affirm for your specific person and say their name, because your mind knows who you want. But like again, if you want them to do something specific, you can't really find a self-concept affirmation for that, then build your self-concept up first and then say those affirmations. Okay, it becomes a lot easier, and they do again reflect that back to you, or even just think it. Like you'll just think something and it'll appear in your reality, like literally like magic, like manifestation out of thin air. That kind of stuff does happen. I've seen that happen. There have been times where I was affirming for my SP to like my story, and he did, like right after. It took like just 10 minutes of consciously affirming. I didn't even affirm like, oh, he's gonna like my story. I just did my self-concept affirmation. There's a couple of self-concept affirmations affirmations that I do. And I feel like fully loved, valued, supported all the time. Like that is one of my affirmations. I always feel fully loved, valued, supported at all times. Okay, let me say that again. I always feel fully loved, valued, and supported at all times. Okay, and they will reflect that back to you. My SP added me on multiple social medias, not just like Instagram, but like LinkedIn, all these other places. I like had affirmed that, okay, I'm supported on all social medias. I wanted, that kind of like special treatment. Like, okay, yeah, this is my girl. I'm gonna hype her up and hype all of her posts. And he literally said that to me. He's like, oh, I want to like support you. I want to hype all your posts. And he even mentioned doing like, a couple things, but I'm not like really there yet. But I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. My affirmations are working. So this kind of stuff does work. Okay, I wouldn't be talking about this stuff if it doesn't work. This is like, again, like when you affirm for specific things, or like, when you affirm for whatever, it's like they start getting these words in their mind. Like even if you say love, loyalty, commitment, flowers, gifts, attention, affection, your SP starts thinking of these words start popping up, they start seeing them on signs, they start hearing them in conversations. They'll be talking to their friends, and their friends will start talking about how like, oh, make sure to always give your girl love, and be there for her and give her love, attention, affection, shower her with support. Or and like they'll be like, oh wow, that's something that I need to do in my life as well. That's something that I should do. Okay. I know for a lot of you, you want that like romantic love where you grow old with each other, and you're like babysitting your grandkids, and you'll tell your grandkids, the story of how you met. When you affirm for that, when you like, of course, base your self concept first, build a strong foundation in your self concept. Guess what? Your specific person, you never need to worry about the how. I'm just giving examples. You don't need to like, concoct all these scenarios as to how it's going to happen. But this is just one example. But let's say you are affirming for all that, right? Your SP will meet like an old person on a park bench, and that person is going to be like, oh yeah, this is a picture of my wife, like, she's at home right now, just like, taking care of our grandkids or our dog or something. Or like sometimes, like whatever, they'll like reference their like lover, their wife, husband, whatever, and then they'll start telling like a really sweet story about how they met. And that's gonna like, your SP will see that. Your SP will be like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet, that's something that I want in my life. And they're gonna start thinking of like, doing that and doing that with you. Okay, especially if you're consciously like affirming. Okay, if you're continuing to affirm and staying consistent, okay, there's no way you can't get what you want. And they're gonna think of you and only you, because at the end of the day, like everyone is you in their reality, and they're gonna start associating that with you. Like, oh, I met this old person on a park bench that was telling me like the sweetest story about their spouse. And this is something that I realized that I want. And they're going to start thinking of that. And like, they're going to start like associating that with you. Okay, especially if like, you're affirming for like that sweet romantic, like old style, old fashioned type of love, right? So don't be afraid to ask for as much as you want. Okay, get very specific with whatever it is that you want, but do the self concept version of that, build a strong foundation in that, and your SP will start reflecting that. You can start doing SP affirmations, even though your subconscious mind already knows what you want. Okay, and the same thing goes like the opposite way as well. Like if you keep like telling yourself like, oh, SP is such a player, I can't trust him, I can't trust her, they've done too many things, like be very careful where your inner conversations lie. Okay, a lot of you're replaying these old memories, and then you're like, like even thinking of things that you want to say to them, and you say them in your mind. Those are inner conversations, they are hearing that. So stop reacting to the past, stop reacting to who they were, because you're just going to perpetuate more of that. They're going to perpetuate more of that and reflect that back to you. Okay, so stop seeing them as a player, stop seeing them as this old version of themselves. Okay, you have to start seeing them as the loyal, committed, amazing, sweet, kind, caring version of themselves that has eyes for you and only you, that sees only you as the romantic love interest. You're the only and best option, right? I really like that one. I am the only option, I'm the best option, no one compares to me, I'm irreplaceable, right? But if you keep saying things like, oh, they were a player, I can't trust them, I can't believe they did this, I can't believe they added all these people on these dating apps, Instagram, this, that, blah, 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 they're going to start like showing you more of that. Because Sammy Ingram's recent video, I do want to credit her for this. She said that whatever you say, people have to prove that right to you. Whatever you think about the most, reality has no choice but to prove that right to you. So if you're thinking constantly negative thoughts, reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you. It's not necessarily reflecting back on what it thinks you deserve. It's not like, okay, don't get me wrong, there is an infinite intelligence, that does exist. But at the end of the day, your subconscious mind is a proof producing machine, like Sammy said. and it has no choice but to reflect back to you what you're feeding it. Okay, so even if you feel like, you deserve love, you deserve good love, you deserve security and stability, but your thoughts are about how your ex, did this or that in the past, or how your childhood sucked, this, that, boys are like this, girls like this, then guess what, you're going to perpetuate more of that. So be very careful what you're feeding it. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, this person's been through a lot, let's just give them, you know um an easy pass. Let's just, give them the best relationship of their life, even though they're thinking constantly negative thoughts. Okay, that's just not how it works. Like, you have to, like, um get out of that victim mindset, that victim mode, and be like, no, well, I deserve the best. Actually, my SP is not a player. They're so loyal to me, they're so committed to me. That was just one version of them. That was their evil twin. That was someone else. That's not who I know. Because that is true. That is true. That is someone else. That is someone completely different, from a different reality, from a different earth, from a different, like, dimension, universe, whatever you want to call it. That is like their doppelganger. We all have infinite versions of ourselves, in infinite timelines, right? That literally was not the SP that you fell for, fell deeply for, started liking. Like, so stop thinking of them in that way, because what happens when you keep saying, like, oh, they're a player, they're this, they're that. Guess what? They're gonna, like, this is one example of what could happen. They could meet friends that are also players, and they'll be like, yeah, screw relationship. The best thing is to just, be on the streets, city girls up, city boys up, this, that. That's not the type of, person you want, right? But, like, when you start saying things like, no, they're so, like, committed to me, they're so romantic, they love spoiling me, they want that old fashioned, old school type of love. Okay, I really like that one. Like, I always received that old fashioned, old school type of love, like, way before social media, when, like, things were, like, monogamous, people only had eyes for each other. Right, and again, like, don't blame social media or anything else that's going on. Even in the, like, digital age, with everything available, multiple options available, love still does exist. There are couples that are deeply in love with each other, that have been dating for years, that are now happily married with 2 dogs. Okay, giving you the example of my best friend, they actually met on a dating app, but, like, they immediately clicked, and now they're together. I know of some couples that are happily married that, did date, and they took a break, and then they got back together. They also met on a dating app, and, like, now they're happily married, and, travel the world together. Okay, this kind of stuff does exist. It really does. Love exists. People can be loyal, committed to you, and only you. People want labeled relationships. Stop giving into the, like, oh, this is, like, the hookup age, this culture, that culture. Yeah, if you keep saying that, if you keep saying love is hard to find because of, whatever's going on, or men are like this, women are like this, you're generalizing, then again, reality has no choice but to reflect that back to you. So be very careful what you're telling your person. Okay, if you really can't see them in this positive state because they've shown you the opposite, at least neutralize it. At least when you think of them, just, like, have a blank slate, right? Like, just be like, okay, yeah, they're just someone else, and I get to write this whole new story for them. But even if it feels fake, just be like, no, they're so committed to me and only me. They're so loyal to me and only me. But again, say the self-concept version of that, build that foundation in your self-concept. Like, I always receive commitment, I always receive loyalty, I always receive labeled love. Okay, or I always receive that girlfriend label, that boyfriend label. Okay, I have no choice but to, yeah, show that back to you in your reality. Let me just go over these cards real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them, just for, like, the purposes of this video. If you are watching this, I just wanted something to be on the screen. But honestly, I feel like this is more of, like, an audio, like, tape or podcast type of thing. So this is definitely something you can, like, listen to in, your car, or, like, on a drive or something. But yeah, okay. The first one is, my affirmations always impress onto my subconscious and logical mind. So again, both your subconscious and logical mind. Something that I want to clarify is that, there are times where we have, like, conscious feelings about certain things, but the opposite manifests, because that's what's going on in our subconscious mind. That's the dominant state. Okay, I know I give this example so much, but in that time that you thought you failed the test, guess what was happening? Your subconscious mind, like, grasped information, absorbed information and knowledge from somewhere that you weren't going to fail. You thought that you were going to fail. You were scared. You were just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to fail. But maybe you studied really hard for that test, and your subconscious mind is like, yeah, well, actually, maybe you have this belief ingrained in you that, like, when you study really hard for something, when you work really hard for something, you do get that, which is a principle. It is an ideal that is ingrained into a lot of our, minds, right? That's what we grew up hearing. So your subconscious mind is like, okay, well, we worked really hard, and we also have this belief that we worked really hard, and that hardworking people always win. They always succeed at the end of the day. So we're going to pass this test, right? Or maybe your subconscious mind heard from somewhere. Maybe you talked to someone that took that class in a previous year that said, oh, this teacher always curves the test. Everyone just ends up passing. Or, like, maybe you kind of, like, just got this infinite knowledge that, like, everyone else in the class, failed as well. Everyone else was struggling because you saw people online at, like, 3 a.m. studying. So it's crazy how our mind works, but that is how it works. Your mind is always, always, always absorbing information. Your subconscious mind is capturing every single thing that that you see in your reality, every single thing that you're hearing, things from your peripheral vision, things that you heard from years ago. And it's connecting the dots. That's the biggest thing. It's connecting the dots. It's like orchestrating certain thoughts, certain beliefs in your mind as you speak right now. Okay. So, yes, the subconscious mind is definitely something you can control. Like it is, making all these connections all of the time, like, like at rapid rates, right? You're like constantly shifting to like different dimensions, realities, versions of yourself, right? But like, if you're seeing something you don't like, you gotta just rewire it. You gotta just repeat until it becomes a belief. Okay. It's not like your subconscious mind has like, it like, pulls the strings and it like makes you do all of these things. That no, if you program it to give you what you want, it has no choice but to lead you to that. You will find yourself taking certain actions, certain steps, or saying certain things, hearing or seeing certain things in your reality, seeing signs that are going to reinforce your faith in your manifestations, that this is working. Okay, it divinely orchestrates it. Like a lot of times, like you could have heard this more law of attraction, like, oh, the universe divinely orchestrates for you to have this thing, this, that. It's your subconscious mind that's doing that. Okay. It is true though that people literally shift, things move for you to get what you want ASAP. Okay. But it's just a matter of you constantly and consciously, affirming until that repetition becomes a belief, and that becomes a dominant belief, and that becomes your state of mind. Okay. Again, persistence kills resistance, and you are always, always, always in control. You can definitely program your logical mind, yes, but you can also program your subconscious mind. And your logical mind and subconscious mind, when they work in tandem, you're invincible. Okay. So again, sometimes you'll have certain feelings. Sometimes you even thought like, oh yeah, I did really well on this test, this, that. But your subconscious mind, grasped information and absorbed knowledge from somewhere and made connections that way actually you didn't pass because of like some things that you could have heard, like, oh, people in the past years must have said, oh, this class is really hard. This teacher never curves, this, that. But again, the opposite could happen too, right? So I mean, how do you like just affirm that I'm passing this test, I'm passing this test, I'm passing this test, I'm passing this test, regardless of however you felt, you will still pass this test. Which is why I really want to bring this point up, that emotions and feelings, they don't matter that much when it comes to manifesting as much as thoughts. Like, listen, when you feel like you're getting something in your reality and it's coming to you and you feel confident and you feel the feelings, you feel that emotion, and you actually end up getting that, that is a reflection that your subconscious mind and logical mind worked in tandem, that they were in alignment with each other, that they were like like, yeah, just again in tandem with each other, like working together, like just on, for lack of a better word, like same frequency, like it matched, like there was like a match between what's going on in the subconscious mind and like logical mind, right? So sometimes that happens. Sometimes when you have a gut feeling, it manifests. But sometimes you'll have certain feelings, you'll be scared about certain things. Oh my gosh, if this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, but it doesn't end up happening because again, your subconscious mind, that's really where everything's taking place. Your subconscious mind is like piecing together the information. It's like connecting the dots and again absorbing information that you wouldn't even believe that it has access to, or is absorbing, or like taking in. Your subconscious mind at the end of the day is doing the work to bring about certain things into your reality. Okay. So again, sometimes you'll have certain feelings, you'll be scared, you'll be fearful, but you'll be fine. Like I know, like there's times where I've done like pretty daring, adventurous, bold things and I was super nervous, but I still came out alive. Or like I literally went indoor skydiving, I was scared, I like went zip lining in like the Belizean jungles. I for real thought the zip line was gonna like break or something. Okay. It didn't look that sturdy to me, but I'm fine. I'm alive. I'm making this video right now. My subconscious mind understood that no, actually, well, this is really safe. Maybe because I do remember reading the reviews, right? Like all the reviews were positive, and I could have heard from somewhere like, yeah, zip lines are always safe, especially in like certain areas with like this density forest, this, that. You will never like, you'll be amazed at how much information your brain is taking in. Maybe I could have heard like, something about tree density from like years ago, and how like, if you're in a forest with like, a certain amount of density, which, something to do with like tree trunks and the leaves and the amount of sunlight it's getting, it'll like, it'll uphold the structures around it, like it'll uphold the zip line, and you'll be fine. And like I'm like, okay, wow, it ended up working out because those forests were pretty lush. The tree trunks were pretty like, sturdy and stable. I've definitely been to like certain places where like the tree was just like so skinny, where they tie the zip line around. And I'm like, I don't know if this looks stable. But I mean, anyway, my point is like I'm alive, I'm here. Your subconscious mind is magical. Okay. Like beyond like it's like the most powerful thing ever. Like think of like the smartest technology you've come across. Like our brains are probably even smarter than that. I mean, in fact, it's our brains that even brought in that technology into existence. Okay, like everything is a manifestation of what's going on in our mind. So yeah, that's something you can say. My affirmations always impress onto my both subconscious mind and logical mind. My subconscious mind and logical mind always work together to give me my desires. The other thing that I wanted to say is I'm the best version of myself. I truly love myself. That's what the second card says here. So if you want the best version of your specific person, affirm that I'm the best version of myself. So what happens when you start affirming this is that your person starts seeing you as the best version of yourself, but also get clear on what that is. What does the best version of yourself look like? You'd be at peace, you'd be happy, you'd be fun to talk to, interesting to talk to, easy to get along with, right? Like all of these things. Everyone wants to talk to you. You're everyone's favorite everything. You're everyone's favorite person. Your person is going to start thinking the same about you as well. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, this person is just so sweet, so caring. I love being around this person. This person brings me so much peace. I feel so happy being around this person. I feel so calm being around this person. Okay. And they're going to start doing that. Okay. They're going to start treating you that way. Again, it's all about the electromagnetic signature that you're emitting into the quantum field, okay, via your self concept, via your affirmations, okay, or visualizations or whatever you're doing to build up your self concept. That's responsible for how people are perceiving you. And again, if you see a lot of people reflecting back to you what you want your specific person to do, that means your specific person is next. Okay, it's just a sign that your specific person is also getting those thoughts, because the quantum field, it reaches everyone. It really does reach everyone. Okay, it does not miss a single thing. That's just not how manifestation works. Okay, so your SP will definitely receive those thoughts as well. And something that I want you to understand is that you're not the exception to a universal rule. Your SP is not the exception to a universal, rule as well. If everyone else is receiving those thoughts, your SP will as well, and they will act on it. Okay, even if you have quote unquote more resistance to them because you like them, this, that, whatever. Honestly, just affirm that resistance doesn't exist. Okay, as easy as that. But yeah, let's say in the case of manifestation, even if there are certain things you have resistance to, you can break through that. Again, persistence kills resistance. So you just have to keep persisting in your self-concept, build a strong foundation. Once your strong foundation is built and you start seeing movement and signs, okay, then you can start affirming for SP. But do not give up on self-concept until it becomes your dominant state of mind and dominant belief. And how you know that is you'll start feeling that way too. You'll be like, wow, okay, like I actually feel so safe and secure in my relationship. I know there's some people that have just been on fight and flight mode for years because they've just never felt safe and secure in a relationship. Their SPs, their exes, partners are doing certain things that were just like red flags, this, that. There will come a time where you don't feel that way anymore. Okay. Again, my best friend, she had been cheated on by her like longtime partner of like 4 years. And now she's really happy with her husband who she's been dating and, married to now for 4 years now. Okay. Like, I mean, yeah. And, she has like the most wonderful, perfect life. And she's not worried about him at all. In fact, like I told her and she's just like, yeah, no, I like, talked to her about love and stuff like that. She's like, no, I like fully and securely, trust in my like husband. Like, like she like, I mean, she didn't even have to say that. Just the way that she was talking about him, just the way that she was, like, she wasn't constantly checking her phone to see what he was doing, this, that. She was like in the moment present. And I could tell like, wow, that is a secure attachment style. She used to have an anxious attachment style. She also used to have a lot of trust issues, this, that, but like now she's like, yeah, she's completely solid in that. And I met her husband. He is completely trustworthy. Even for me, I'm her best friend and I'm looking out for her. I did my research on social media, this, that. He showed no signs of being like, sketchy or having any red flags whatsoever. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, literally, you can manifest security, stability, loyalty, being in a committed relationship, feeling happy, feeling good, feeling secure, breaking out of that fight or flight mode. Okay. It takes a little bit of work. I'm not going to lie, but use this time, energy, like use this time, and, invest that time, energy, effort into building that dominant belief, that dominant state of mind. Okay. And you will be happy for the rest of your life. I know Sammy Ingram said something along the lines of, and like, this is just something that a lot of people say, like, everything, shoot, what was it? It's like, actually, let me reference the Bob Proctor quote. Faith and fear both require, belief in something you can't see, right? So it's your choice. So faith over fear. Both of them, like, you're thinking thoughts anyways throughout the day, right? You might as well just consciously affirm in your favor. You might as well just think thoughts in your favor. Okay, it might feel a little bit weird or foreign at first, but if you keep thinking them, and you continue that, thought process, it'll become easy, it'll become natural, it'll come, easier to you. And I know a lot of you, I've had some clients that tell me that, like, oh, I affirm for certain things, like, oh, my SP loves me, my SP's committed to me, SP and I are in a happy, healthy relationship, and they find themselves saying that in the middle of the night, like waking up in the middle of the night. That's just like their default way of thinking. Okay, that's a sign that your affirmations are working, that they've saturated onto your subconscious mind. If that is your default way of thinking, your default line to go to, even if you don't necessarily believe it, that means it's working. That means your SP is also getting those thoughts like, wow, I really love this person, I really want to be with this person, right? So yeah, it might feel a little bit weird or uncomfortable at first to say certain things that just don't make sense or you don't believe in, but would you rather be uncomfortable now for a little bit, which will become, which you will end up, it will end up turning into comfortability, or would you rather be uncomfortable for the rest of your life and just not, get love and complain and be sad and be miserable all the time, right? Like it's up to you to choose. Okay, sometimes you get so sick of your own, ways of thinking, your own BS mind language, that you're just like, I gotta change, I don't want to go through this anymore. Okay, and then, like, you get like really deep into this, and once you're deep into this, like, there's nothing that can shake it. Like, there's some people that are so like financially solid, secure, stable. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, even if he lost a lot in the stock market right now, like, he would still be a billionaire, he would still be rich. That's how, like, he couldn't spend enough money even if he wanted to, even if he gave his money to, like, even if he bought like all the like luxury mansions in the world, all the boats, penthouses, he would still have a lot left over. There's some crazy quote about Jeff Bezos, on like, if, oh my gosh, I forgot what the quote was, but like, since the pyramids were built, if you spent like, $1 million like every year, like, it was some amount, I don't know if it was $1 million, but if you spent like, a lot every year up until now, like, you would still, you would still have enough money left, like, you still wouldn't be as rich as Jeff Bezos. I'm sorry, I completely butchered that quote. But like, that's how rich he is, that's how like secure he is in his financial stability. That's like how big his, that's how solid his foundation is when it comes to his financial stability. That can be you in love, that can be you and your finances, with your SP, whatever it is that, you're trying to manifest. Okay, yeah, but it's just a matter of building up that foundation and continuing that and sustaining that momentum and not giving up on yourself. You're not doing this for your SP, you're doing this for yourself, you're doing this to give yourself something you like. So anytime you feel like, oh, you're doing it for your SP, well, no, you're not. And no, you're not. You're doing this for yourself. That is so crazy. I literally just saw like a number out there on this bus that I associate with my manifestations. Okay, so yeah, but let me finish what I was saying. You're not doing this for your SP. You're doing this for yourself. You're doing this to give yourself something that's gonna make you happy. Okay, you need to get up and be disciplined. You need to, like, go on those affirmation blocks. Do whatever it is that you do. Don't skip a day. Don't skip even one day. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 days is okay, because think about it. Like, when you go to the gym, um I know that this is a little bit of a limiting belief, okay, but um just bear with me here with this example. You work out for like an hour, you're not going to see results, especially like, if that's all you do. You work out for an hour and you just don't work out the rest of the week. But if you work out for an hour every single day and, continue to eat somewhat healthy, or even like continue to eat however you're eating, as long as it's, somewhat healthy, you will see results, right? But also at the same time, don't go to the gym, work out for like hours on end, and then come back and eat donuts. That is like, what some of you guys do when it comes to manifestation. You'll saturate your mind, you'll spend time affirming, visualizing, scripting, whatever. But the rest of the time, what are you thinking? What thoughts are going on? Why are you thinking negatively of your person? Why are these old thoughts coming up? Why are you reacting to them? Yes, thoughts might come up. We think 70,000 thoughts a day. But like, what is your like mechanism when these, thoughts come up? You have to find a way to either eliminate these thoughts or neutralize them. And that way you will, when you neutralize them, you'll mitigate the triggers. Okay. You won't be as triggered anymore. But like spending time manifesting and affirming, okay, and like, spending time, like, let's say you manifest for 10 minutes every day, right? That's a method that works really well, by the way. But then the rest of the time, like, you're getting triggered, you're thinking all these negative thoughts, you're having these inner conversations with them, you're thinking back to, and I know a lot of people do this, you're thinking back to what you could have said when they said that thing that triggered you. You're like replaying these conversations in a way, like, you're going back to those moments that you had with your specific person that kind of upset you or triggered you, and you're just like, what the heck, why did they say that? I should have said this, I should have said that. This is what I would say to them right now. Like, no, just don't when those thoughts come up, be like, no, that's not them, or reverse that. They said something triggering, no, well, they didn't do that, they didn't say that. They've always just been about you and only you. You're the only person that they want to be with. They only have eyes for you and only you. You're the best option, you're irreplaceable. I know like some people will like say triggering things, like not even like to you, but like about a different topic or something. Like maybe you had like a difference in like political views. Be like, no, well, we're in alignment with our political views. In fact, take that as a sign. Take that as sign. Oh wait, not necessarily sign. Let me rephrase. Let me go back. Take that as something that you might need to like, like, okay, not like work on, but like let's say, your SP says something that is very different than your political beliefs, but you're trying to manifest a happy, healthy, committed, loving relationship with your specific person. That's just yet another thing that you have to like, reinforce within yourself to make sure that you have that said happy, healthy, committed relationship, right? Because I know a lot of relationships, sometimes people have very different views on, religion. They have like different political beliefs, different like party alignments, whatever. So if that happens, anything negative that's happening, that's just a sign for you to flip the script, flip that thought, and just understand that it's the bridge of incidents that's leading you to where you want to be. So if you're manifesting a happy, healthy, committed, loving relationship with your specific person that's, peaceful, no fights, you just get along well all the time, but they said something that triggered you right now. Well, when you keep affirming for self-concept and you sustain that momentum and you build that belief, you build that, foundation, that dominant belief, that state, when you get together, okay, when you get together, when you get back together in a relationship, whatever, that person is going to be in alignment with you in every way possible. Okay, same with financial blueprint. So even if, like, let's say your person said something about finances that you didn't necessarily agree with, take that as a sign that, okay, they were like this before, but I can change that. Okay, again, like, it's not you changing them, it's you changing your belief and perception about the situation, or like you changing the situation to what you want it to be, and catering it to like your specific needs. Okay, I would even say I'm always catered to. I'm always agreed with, I'm always catered to. We have we always see eye to eye when it comes to certain things. We have such a peaceful relationship. Even just saying we have a peaceful relationship, encompasses all those things. That you have the same financial blueprint, same political party alignment, beliefs, things like that, could have come up in like relationships in the past, or like, could be causing factors of like divorce or separation, right? Like there are a couple things that are like the main thing, like sometimes like religious, cultural differences, but I think like the biggest thing is like money, finances. So again, if you're not together with your specific person right now, like I would say that it's all happening for you to be in that perfect, amazing relationship, and that everything that's happening, good, bad, neutral, triggering, whatever, is just a sign for you to reinforce, like your I don't think reinforce is the right word, but like, just think in favor of your relationship. Think your dream relationship, your ideal relationship. So, okay, your person said something that was triggering. That's up to you to flip the script. So when you do get back together, then they're not ever going to do that. It's just going to be a peaceful relationship. This is why it's good that you're working on yourself, because there's some people that straight up get married, that straight up have kids, and they realize they're like, the person that they're with, their spouse, their partner, is going haywire. They're going all over the place. They're not on the same page as them. They're not in alignment with them. They're having a midlife crisis, years ahead or years later, or something like that, right? In order to prevent that, in order for you to always just have this beautiful, peaceful, loving, healthy relationship, okay, healthy being the key word here, everything that's happening, you have to take that as a sign for you to, kind of like shift your belief and perception on certain things. Yeah, this is what I meant. Shift your belief and perception on certain things. That are important and conducive to having a happy, healthy relationship. So again, even if you just affirmed, I have a happy, healthy, peaceful relationship at all times. Okay, I have a happy, healthy, peaceful relationship at all times. I have a happy, healthy, peaceful relationships at all times. Okay, yeah, no, this that I sound like a broken record. That is literally how you have to sound like. Okay, it wasn't anything wrong with the video. I really did say that 3 times. But if you keep affirming that, then all of those things that used to be problems in your relationship, all of those circumstances will be obliterated. They will be gone. They just won't exist anymore. Okay. Yeah, again, whatever, like financial blueprint, all of those things that I just mentioned, location, distance, where do you want to settle when you get together? What kind of house do you want to live in? Do you want to live in an apartment? How many dogs do you want? What kind of pets do you want? How do you want to raise, your children? All of these things are so, so, so important. But if you go to that end state of just saying, I'm in a happy, healthy, peaceful relationship at all times, my relationship is happy, healthy, peaceful at all times, all of those situations will work themselves out. All of those problems will work themselves out. They'll be gone. They'll be obliterated. Okay. So that's why it's really important for, again, you to build your self-concept, for you to build certain beliefs, so that when you get together for good, and when it comes to making these big important decisions, like how you want to raise your kids together, if you want kids, where you want to live, where you want to settle down, how do you want to split the finances, all of these like practical, like real life things that are like very big and very like pivotal and crucial to relationships, that can either make or break a relationship. All of these things will work themselves out, sort themselves out, once you just like affirm for like being in a peaceful relationship. And again, just affirming for self-concept, like you are someone that experiences peaceful, helpful relationships. I am someone that only experiences good relationships. Okay, I am worthy of a good relationship. I'm worthy of being catered to. I'm worthy of being of having all of my needs met. Okay, I'm worthy of being catered to. I'm worthy of having all my needs met no matter what. Okay, say all these things as much as you can. Just keep feeding that to your subconscious mind, and again, keep thinking positively of your specific person, and doing enough self-concept will help you change your perception of them a lot easier. You'll have, less resistance to saying things like, oh, they love me and only me, they cater to my every need, they worship me, they obsess me, this, that. Okay, so yeah, anyways, I talked a lot. This video was kind of all over the place. Okay, at the end of the day, I just say whatever comes to mind, but I do want to let you know that if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help and support, join the Patreon challenge, okay, group collective manifestation challenge, where we get together and manifest as a group, which accelerates and amplifies our individual manifestations. I also offer in-depth tarot readings as well as one-on-one manifestation coaching, and I also custom make subliminals. And I do have a guide out on my Etsy that you can use to manifest love, specific love, soulmate love, new love, and it is very self-concept based. Okay, so if you're interested in that, all of that can be found on my website, and my website will be in the link in the description box below. And yeah, I will end the video right here. I intend that every single person watching this gets their manifestations to full fruition for the good of all and harm to none, and fast. Bye.